Hi there everyone, Nuria/Selfie speaking for one last time. Sorry for that change of volume. This time from Frankfurt's airport, which means a couple of things. Firstly, there's noise in the background. Sorry about that, but it's part of the magic, I guess. Second thing is that at some point you may hear voices from other people because there's a lot of notices and thingies in the megaphones. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll say it's part of the magic again because it's the best excuse I have. And thirdly, it's 7 in the afternoon in Frankfurt. It's the 25th of December, but I just hopped off a flight, an 11-hour flight from Seoul. I woke up in Seoul at 7 a.m. and for me right now it's like 4 in the morning and I have no script. So, if this episode is a mess, I am sorry for that too, but I hope it goes well. I really hope it goes well. I mean, I hope all of them go well, but this one is the last one ever. It's the last episode of the Homesick project, and that seemed special in some sort of way. I chose airport. I chose to record it on the airport purposefully. Not only because I have a 15-hour stop-off, which is convenient for doing stuff, but also because airports feel like the epitome. I don't know how to pronounce that, but like the last resource of like home and homesickness. Even if it's just in a short term or in a long term, airports mean you leave a place to find another one. And obviously that has some homely connotations that I really like. And it's a very honest place where you can see people saying goodbye in some sort of like truthful and very human way, and people meeting again. I don't know, it's weird. Airports are weird, and that's why I like them. But that's the reason why I normally have scripts, guys. Because if I don't, I drift away. Sorry for that cut. A lady came speaking very angry German, and you probably couldn't hear my voice over that, so I came back to fix it. And the thing is, I wanted to record this last episode as a closure, no matter what, even though I knew it was going to be complicated to do it well here. Not here, and just like with the rest of the things that are conditions, such as the jet lag and the lack of script and everything else. Because every single time I've had to record an episode, I didn't want to do it. Every single one of them, even the times that were with close friends of mine, as an exchange experience lasts only a limited amount of time. I thought, hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't have started it in the first place because I'm losing a lot of time. I'm losing a lot of things. I could be doing literally anything, and I'm stuck here writing scripts, meeting with people, comparing schedules, editing, and doing a lot of things, and just for what? But then every single time I recorded an episode, I remembered why. What was the what that I was looking for? Like, for example, remember the first one with Alex? I think it's so interesting to look back now that everything has passed. Alex is probably meeting with Mitch now, and if he's not, he'll do so in a few days. And Michelle, the girl from the second episode, I know for a fact she must have seen her beloved orchids at this point, because she left the dorms the 21st of December. Then you have Sonia. I said goodbye to her yesterday, but I know we're gonna meet in the summer, so I'm not that sad. And she still has at least 3/4 of a year left in Seoul, as a minimum. Maybe she'll get more time, and I'm also holding on to that. But I mean, she can still enjoy her life-changing, half homesick experience over there. Then Jasmine, I don't know if she has maybe come back to the Philippines for the holidays. Maybe she's staying in Korea. It's been a while since I've seen her last. But Nina, I also said goodbye to her yesterday. She told me that Jelly is being a bitch, but I mean, he has always been a bitch. That's why we love him. And then you have Diana and Sophie. Diana is home safe, and her family adopted a chameleon called Rico, which is pretty cool. I said goodbye to her on the 21st, and it made me cry so much I don't want to keep talking about it. And same happened with Sophie. I also said goodbye to her yesterday. And right now she's in a 6-7 hour stop off at the airport in Ciudad de Mexico, but she's almost home. And me, well, you've probably read the name of this episode. I cannot say I'm heading home if I still don't know what home means, right? The thing is, when I wrote the name of the episode, I wrote it in this summer. I just wrote a list of things that I thought would be interesting to try to explain home, like different perspectives, different angles. And I thought it made a lot of sense for the closure to be this, because I was 100% sure I would not find out what home means throughout these 4 months. I mean, I hadn't figured it out before. I hadn't figured it out in the 19 years I had before starting this. So why would 4 months make a difference? You know, I was convinced, and I was also, of course, mistaken. 4 months can change a lot of things, including a person and the way they see the world. Ironically, I learned this in class. And I say ironically because when you talk about exchange experiences, the least you talk about are classes, because you learn a lot of things about life and about yourself and about the world by just living on a place that's so different from your own home. But I literally had to study the definition of home from one of my courses, which was a complete surprise. And there were a lot of things discussed and a lot of different theories and whatsoever. But one that struck me completely was that home is a symbol. That a home is a metaphor, is a symbol. It means what you want it to mean, because it gives you what you need it to give you. A home is not something fixed. It's not something that exists. You know, you cannot grab a home. You cannot grasp the idea of it, because it's a concept that we created as humans because we needed it. And as a concept that we have created, we put in it the meaning that we need. That's why you can have more than one home, you know, because you need different things in different moments of your life. And so you create a symbol that's different for every single one of those different moments. And I guess that's why I didn't know what to call home, because I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know what I wanted. The thing about this unknown is that it was a known unknown, which is another concept I learned in class. I knew I didn't know what I wanted, and I was obsessed with finding it. In fact, there was this Seoul is full of stickers and of things written on the walls and of messages and just inspirational stuff everywhere. And there was this one sticker that I saw last week when I was walking around with Sophie and Diana that said something along the lines of, "Seeking for happiness is ruining my life." And I hate these kind of messages, though, of like, everything will fall into place if you just stop worrying, of if you stop looking for an answer, the universe will give it to you. I hate to generalize about those kind of things, because I don't think it's true. I think you have to put an effort into things if you want to change them. But in this case in particular, it kind of applied. I didn't find what I want, but I discover it's okay to not know. By just giving up in some sort of way, by stopping to look for the answers. I didn't find the answers, but I found out I could survive without them. It's okay to not know, to be a bit lost, and to not like doing things, and to just wish and wonder and wait without having the perfect plan. In that journey of self-discovery that took so much effort, way more effort than it actually sounds like, I built a home in Seoul, and a tiny one in Amsterdam, and in Canarias, and in Milwaukee, in Mexico as a concept, and in a shit ton of different places. For the first time ever since I moved that first day, remember, from my hometown when I was 16, for the first time ever since I left the only thing I knew how to call home, I feel like I can have a place. For the first time ever since I moved that first time, remember that I talked about it on the first episode? When I was 16, I had to leave my hometown and the house where I grew up and everything that I had known. And that was the last time I felt like home. Because after that, I just discovered that, well, home is not a real thing, it's something that you make up. And I just couldn't quite find the right ingredients to make my own home, I guess. But yeah, for the first time ever since then, I can say that I miss Seoul. I have only just left. It's been less than, 12, 13 hours since I lastly put my feet on Seoul's floor. But I miss Oriole. I miss that cafe where you can see the whole city and just get lost in the daylight and compare all the enormous skyscrapers with the tiny buildings that are all intertwined between the cables. I miss the tables in the cafeteria in Gonzaga, our dorm. They were so noisy, and the chairs, you couldn't sit properly into them, and if you wanted to get up, they would screech on the floor and distract everyone, and it was awful, and I really miss that. And I miss having to wait, 10 minutes for the elevator to arrive so you could go to your floor. And I miss the conversations that I found in those 10 minutes and the people I met, and just I miss walking around and getting the smell of the street food, of tteokbokki on the streets. And my family, because every home has a family, and my found family, that's what I'm going to miss the most. It's already aching. Home as people and feelings and places. I am leaving Seoul. I am coming home, theoretically. And yet, at this exact moment, I think I'm the most homesick I've ever felt ever since I left Spain. It's just, I find it so curious. I'm not even saying it because I'm sad, which I am, but it's sad in a good way. I just think it's so funny that I started this by thinking that being far from home would help me define home. And what has actually made me realize everything is finding a new home in a new place and realizing that the home that was back home, I already knew I wouldn't call it my home, but still. I am so lucky to be able to feel this homesickness, because that means that deep within my bones, I do know what I need, and I do know what I want. I do know what home means, even if I thought I would never ever discover that. And even though that kind of breaks the whole concept of the podcast and makes me look like a terrible planner, which I guess at this point I am. But that's the best closure I can give to this. It was messy, it was not the longest one, and it probably didn't put into words everything that I want to say. I'm sorry about that. I can't put into words what I have in my mind. I can never do it. But I wanted to say goodbye in a proper way. And I guess that's also metaphorical. If homes are symbols, this is a symbol of what I'm feeling right now. A bit of a mess, a bit sad, but good, mostly, because of the things that I just said that I'm not going to repeat, because this is already sounding pretty bad. But I'm not going to be the last voice you'll hear on this podcast. I don't know if you remember, of course you do, you have to. I always mention this girl, Rachel, because she's the one that made the intro and the outro, the music that we have for the podcast. She's crazy talented and also crazy hardworking, and she's amazing. And when we first talked, I told her, hey, do you think you can actually write a song? Not just an instrumental short motif, but an actual song. I think you could do that. Because I feel like even if my own words cannot express what this feels like, maybe music will. Because music has that sort of magic and a power, And she told me, yeah, sure, I can do that. And so I also talked with my friend Marta. I think I've talked about her quite a lot in this podcast. She's an author. She writes books, but she's also crazy talented and crazy hardworking in the field of singing. She has an amazing voice, and she's the one who sings the song that Rachel composed. Before this ends, thank you as always to the brilliant Crazy Doll for the amazing and beautiful and inspiring artwork that has accompanied us through every single episode. If you still haven't checked out her art, you really should do it right now. Stop this podcast and finish the last few seconds of it in another moment, because you gotta see what this girl does. Thank you so much to Alex, to Michelle, to Sonia, to Jasmine, to Nina, to Sophie, and to Diana. Thank you for being part of this. Even though we were busy as fuck and we had better things to do, thank you so much for wanting to spend a little bit of your time with me. And thank you for helping me understand what home means. Thank you so for also doing that. And most of all, I think thanks to you, whoever is listening to this, because this was a crazy of a mess of a podcast, and you still stuck to it until the very end, and that makes me very happy. Last but not least at all, thank you to Daisy, the amazing platform that put me into contact with Gracie and with Rachel and with a lot of other amazing individuals that helped bring this project to life. Daisy is a platform that puts artists and just skillful people into contact to bring projects into life. It's crazy. The internet is amazing, kids. But I'm not gonna make this any longer. So I guess for one last time, good night and farewell.
I'm so many miles from home and I feel overwhelmed. I'm so alone. I don't know anyone here in the corner of my eyes. I feel a tear and I ask myself, what am I doing here so far away from all I hold dear? I'm chasing a dream that seems fated to never come near. And I miss where I grew up. I miss the trees that helped me breathe when I couldn't do it on my own. And oh, I miss that feeling of knowing where I belong and dare to do whatever with whoever I wanted to. Days go by, I start to sink, I'm feeling numb, don't know what to think. I stick myself in a corner, but then they come and bother me, asking, what are you doing there? There are people here who want to care about you, so don't be alone, 'cause what you feel we share. We miss where we grew up. We miss the trees that helped us breathe when we couldn't do it on our own. But here we know that feeling of knowing where we belong, and we dare to be whatever and whoever we want to. So stop asking yourself, what am I doing here so far away from all I hold dear? I'm here chasing a dream and it seems to be real. Now I have no fear. Still miss where I grew up. I miss the trees that help me breathe, though now I can do it